Who knows how long, but I'll try my best to get this video out as, a little bit sooner than later. Sooner than later.
Yeah, the intro you just watched, that's more than that. The reason why is that I'm just living my life, doing my own hobbies, and doing whatever I like to do. But anyways, this is another video that I'll be covering. This time, the Dash 9 and AC44 revamps. A lot of the new units have been revamped a few weeks ago, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm excited about it because I just prefer the new models than the old ones that they had before. Anyways, without any more stalling of these grades, let's just get it over with and start this video. I'm going to be doing this in alphabetical order, so here goes nothing. The first units we'll be covering are the BNSF Dash 9s, the Fake Bonnet, War Bonnet, H1, and H2 Dash 9s. First, let's go back how it all started. The BNSF War Bonnet started off as Santa Fe Dash 9s 2 years before the BNSF merger. Santa Fe purchased 100 Dash 9s from numbers 600 to 699, then into the BNSF merger in 1995. Then in 1996, BNSF released its new paint scheme, the Heritage 1. They were also nicknamed the Pumpkin units because of its unique orange and dark green colors. These were numbered from 960 to 1123. A year later, in 1997, the BNSF Fake Bonnets will start to appear in service, starting off as primer units, then into the former Santa Fe colors with its BNSF letterings on the long hood. These were numbered from 700 to 799 and 4700 to 4719. BNSF started off the Heritage 2 paint, but those units start off as this color scheme when they purchased the new Dash 9s from General Electric. I don't remember the nickname of this paint scheme, but they are usually found in the 4700 and 4800 series. This was before the Heritage 2 paint scheme were painted in the shops, and since then they painted those Dash 9s into the Heritage 2 scheme until they changed their design again in 2005. Today, most are still out of the rails except for the War Bonnets, as they are used for local and yard switching in BNSF's system. Allegedly, in June, BNSF has sold a couple of their H1 and Fake Bonnet Dash 9s to Wabtec. So it's best to get these Dash 9s before they're gone from mainline services, as they're reaching up to 30 years old in the future. These Dash 9s are equipped with RS3Ls, K3LAs, and K3HAs. The majority of the Dash 9s have PTC installed, while some do not. Next are the Canadian National locomotives. New revamps are the AC44 C6M, C44-9W, and the C44-9WLs. CN purchased the Dash 9 with a different cab design, with the cab having 4 windows just like the C40-8Ms that BC Rail and CN used back in the day, and include the ST40-2Ws, don't forget about that either. They only purchased 23 of them in 1994 from numbers 2500 to 2522. Then in 1997 they purchased the regular Dash 9s with another design. The windows for those will have teardrops on them. They purchased those between the years 1997, 1998, 2001, and 2004 from numbers 2200 to 2205 and 2523 to 2699. Then in 2004 from 2697 to 2727, these units that I just mentioned that were built in 2004 will have the Illinois Central letterings when they were purchased. It's worth noting that Illinois Central is a non-operated company of Canadian National, because the United States doesn't want any railroads to merge with other foreign country companies, like the one in the United States, want to merge with a Canadian company. Yeah, it's not happening. That also includes Mexico too. Look at CPKC. Even after the painting the CPKC colors, they still have the CP and KCS markings underneath the original numbers. Anyways, fast forward to 2022. The first CN AC44 C6N was completed at WebTech in Fort Worth, number 3300, formerly CN2641. These are powered to work as AC units, new engines, and a new cab. As of June 2025, 50 CN-9s are planned to get a refurbished locomotive at WebTech in Fort Worth. So far, 110 have been rebuilt, from numbers 3300 to 3409. CN 3410 was recently completed and is in testing. Who knows, I might see these new locomotives to get delivered to Memphis. PTC is equipped for the new AC44s. For the Dash 9s, some are not, the majority of them are. Next is the Canadian Pacific AC44s. 3 have been revamped: the dual flag, regular AC44, and a new locomotive, an AC44 CWM. Between the years 1995 to 2004, Canadian Pacific purchased a total of 497 AC44 CWs from General Electric from numbers 8500 to 8655 and 9500 to 9840. Units before July 1997 will have the dual flag paint scheme, while others after July 1997 will have the regular New Beaver paint scheme. Fast forward to 2017, the AC44's locomotives started to age up to 30 years old. Well, for the 9500 and 9600 series, since they are built in the mid-90s. Canadian Pacific collaborated with General Electric to rebuild their 9500 and 9600 series. The first rebuilds were numbered from 8100 to 8129, which most were formerly in the 9600 series. The second rebuilds were made from 8130 to 8144. Then the third would be made again from numbers 8000 to 8064. And then in 2019, the fourth was made from numbers 8145 to 8160. 2 years later in 2021, 8200 to 8210 will be completed, but not fully. I don't know what's the reason for that, but leave the comments down below if you know what caused the AC44 CWM rebuild program to stop. Or not really stop, but like they just paused the program. Who knows? Most of these AC44s are equipped with K3Ls, K3LAs, P3s, P5s, and K5LA horns, and all locomotives are equipped with PTC. Here we have a CSXT M44AH. This is a rebuilt AC44 that CSX is currently still ongoing actually. It all started back in 2019. CSX decided to join the AC44 rebuild program to have more and better performances on the AC44s. CSX 7200 was the first rebuilt and tested at WebTech in Erie, Pennsylvania, along with 9 other AC44s that were also part of the rebuild program. These new upgrades for the AC44 has a new cab and add new improvements for the AC units since they are already AC powered when they're first built. Like I said before, this rebuild program is still ongoing and expect to rebuild all of their AC44s in the future. Get those Y2s as much as you can. All CM44AHs have PTZ installed and their horns are the K5H and the K5LA horns. Hey, do you mind adding some Mexican music on? Thank you. Anyways, this is a Ferromex AC44 C6M. Ferromex acquired the AC44 C6Ms from WebTech in 2024 because they were in a shortage of power. They acquired 60 of them, 25 from CEFX and 35 from the Dash 9s. These units originally came from Norfolk Southern, but they for some reason wanted to delay the deliveries of the AC44 C6Ms. But WebTech was like, nope, we're not storing your power in our shops. Eventually, they were sold to WebTech and with their original Norfolk Southern paint scheme. That's until Ferromex acquired 60 of them. They were repainted again into the primer paint and sent them to Ferromex, of which they'll be repainted into the zebra paint in their shops in Mexico. Today, all 60 of them are completed and are working with Ferromex. Oh, that PTC that you're seeing on the top, it's in fact real. Not really? Whatever. But the problem is that they cannot lead in the United States. Why is that? Because they don't have the computers for it. So like that WebTech computer that you see in the cab, yeah, that's where the PTC is at, or like how all the controls, all the controls, like I don't know, I couldn't explain it. Whatever. So they cannot lead in the United States, unfortunately. Speaking of the US, they're also not restricted to working in Mexico either, so they can work in the US and Mexico. And in Canada, don't forget about that. They're equipped with K5LA and a few P3 and P5 horns. Next is the KCS AC44s, the Grey Ghost, and the regular KCS unit. The Grey Ghost started out as TFM units. Between the years 1998 to 2000, TFM purchased the AC44s from General Electric from numbers 2600 to 2674. Then in 2005, KCS gained full control of the entire railroad company. They will be patched up with the KCS letterings, KCSM of course, from numbers 4500 to 4574. And for the others, for like regular KCS, it will be in the 4600 series. So like they had their Grey Ghosts, but with just KCS letterings on it. These Grey Ghost units will have 2 variant reflective tape colors, yellow and white. Today, most of the Grey Ghost units can still be seen in CPKC lines. Some have been repainted, some are still going strong with their original colors. All KCS AC44s have PTC installed and their horns are equipped with K5LA and K3LA horns. Finally, the Union Pacific locomotives. First is UP6706. These units started off as a C&W locomotive. Built by General Electric in 1994, the Chicago and Northwestern purchased a total of 35 AC44s from numbers 8801 to 8835. 6706 was originally number 8804. It was like that until the merger with UP in 1996. These C&W AC44s will be patched up and used them for in-service, still keeping their original C&W colors. Today, UP6706 remains the only active locomotive still in its original colors. Who knows when it will get repainted? Time will tell. UP6706 has PTC installed and its horn is equipped with a K3HA horn. Now the new Revamp AC44s for Union Pacific. UP purchased a lot of the AC44s from General Electric. From what I can gather, they order over 1,100 AC44s from General Electric. We're going to exclude the XSP patches and the C&W, so that's not going to be included. For two model names, the C44 ACCTE and the C44AC. All of them are numbered from 5554 to 5694. 5700 to 6081, 6430 to 6702, 6738 to 6887, 6995 to 6999, and 7080 to 7297. The C44 AC units will be painted in the old UP small shields units, while the C44 ACCTEs are painted in the new with the American flag on the long head. Today, most of the C44 ACCTEs and C44 AC units will be rebuilt and painted into the new painted scheme with the American flag on the nose and their company letterings on the long head, as Webtec made a deal with Union Pacific to complete their new refurbished units to have better efficiency and new improvements on the locomotive. With their new model name, the C44 ACMs. Well, you can still find them, it's just going to take a while for them to not all of them are going to be rebuilt, but it's just going to take a while for them since, they're going to be rebuilding a lot of them, especially the Dash 9s. So you still have time to get them, while the C44 ACCTEs are quite getting a little bit hard to catch now, as most of them are now rebuilt, or either just waiting to get rebuilt. Anyways, all UP C44 ACs and C44 ACCTEs are equipped with PTC and are equipped with K3HAs, K3LAs, and a couple of K3AH horns. Well, there you have it. That marks the end of today's video. Yeah, I know there's some stuff that I did not cover, but I don't really feel like adding them as the video will be super long. Go check that video out if you want to see it, since I ain't covering those. Anyways, if you enjoyed today's video, please give the video a like and subscribe to the channel as well. I wasn't expecting this channel to grow fast from the last video, and I appreciate everyone who subscribed. Anyways, thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys in another video. Take care.